Hello and welcome to today's Innovation Coffee Break. My name is Martin Brühl. I'm Product Manager at dSPACE. And today we want to demonstrate the outcome of a cooperation we did together with FERCHAU Automotive.
Yes, hi everyone and hi Martin. My name is Ole Bolin. I'm Division Manager for FERCHAU Automotive, and yes, we did a very cool project together and I'm proud to tell you a little bit about it. The aim of our project was to develop an automated workflow for testing code changes, and the code changes are concerned with the communication of a vehicle with a charging station.
Yes, and this communication between the car and the station has of course been developed and tested very carefully. And for this, a new method that is called DevOps is often used.
Yes, DevOps is a methodology that focuses on automating workflows and testing, and it actually also fosters collaboration and continuous improvement.
And our experts will now demonstrate how this can work in practice.
Hello everyone, I'm Lucas. I'll show you how the daily workflow with one of these pipelines might work for one of our developers, so in this example me. I seem to have received an email telling me about an error during the pipeline run. I can see here that it happened to fail on my new small fix that I made. In the pipeline I can see that some error occurred during the conformance test, which means that a deep error that might not have shown up was now told to me. It tells me that the error happens during the exact session setup test, which now tells me where my error might have been. This can be easily fixed, which I have prepared in advance. And we will now see how the pipeline might help me fix this error or see if I actually fixed it. And in the meantime, I'll just get a coffee.
Hi, I am Kirti, a system engineer at FERCHAU Automotive, Cologne. While Lucas grabs his coffee, I will walk you through the process of decoupling the manual work by automating the task in our pipeline to run the conformance test execution. So the fully automated conformance test in CI/CD pipeline requires integration of multiple dSPACE tools like SystemDesk, VEOS, ControlDesk, AutomationDesk, and alongside a continuous integration environment to run the pipeline. Let's jump into the slides. So here is the workflow of the conformance test. So the workflow begins with the SystemDesk project. That means EVCC SystemDesk project. So, and the second step is to automate the SystemDesk project by generating the OS headers and generating the Ethernet codes. And the next step is to build this EVCC virtual ECU in our VEOS. And the next step is to check this V2G communication is working fine in the ControlDesk. And finally, the last step is to execute the conformance test in the AutomationDesk. Okay, so the automation of the SystemDesk involves many automation tasks like opening the SystemDesk project, generating the OS headers, and generating the Ethernet codes by using the BSW plugin manager, and exporting the virtual ECU container, and finally closing the SystemDesk. And so automation of the VEOS involves connecting our for ECU with the plant model. So the steps involves the loading the OSA of the smart charging solution to our VEOS and importing this EVCC VECU and selecting the simulation target and building the EVCC VECU and connecting EVCC VECU to the smart charging solution model and run the simulation for 20 seconds and finally saving the OSA file and close the VEOS. And the automation task of the ControlDesk involves several tasks like opening the ControlDesk experiments, adding the variable description file, and registering the VEOS platforms, and loading the real-time application, and going the online, and we will do some layout selections like a plugin, low-level communication verification, data link, and USB log level, and control CSS mirror request. And finally, we start our real-time application, and we will run the simulation until the session stop blinks. And then we will go offline and we will close the ControlDesk. Yeah, and coming to the automation of the AutomationDesk involves several tasks like opening the AutomationDesk, importing the conformance test project to the AutomationDesk, and doing the platform registration and configuring the MR port and loading the real-time application and starting the real-time application, and finally test execution and the report generation. Okay. For this demonstration, I utilize Azure DevOps platform to streamline the process. All these tools play important role in automating the tasks right from virtual ECU generation and real-time testing and report generation. So let's quickly dive into the demonstration. Let me start the pipeline. Okay, now we are checking out the repository to the local host machine where we have installed all our dSPACE toolchain. And in the second step, we are unzipping the ControlDesk project. And now we are automating the SystemDesk. So now it's opening the SystemDesk session. Okay, now in the SystemDesk, we are automating some of the tasks like opening the SystemDesk project and generating these OS headers and generating the Ethernet codes by using the BSW plugins. And finally, we are exporting the virtual ECU to the implementation container, and we are closing the SystemDesk. And now we are opening the VEOS to build our virtual ECU. Okay, now we are opening the OSA file, and we are building the virtual ECU, and this is automatically selected the target. Okay, and now we are going to connect this EVCC virtual ECU to the smart charging solution via Ethernet cluster. That we can see it here. So here we can see the connection via the Ethernet cluster is successful. Okay, now the simulation ran through, and now we are saving our OSA file and we are closing our VEOS. Yeah, and the next important step is to check this V2G communication is working fine. So, and for that we definitely need to automate our ControlDesk. And now we are trying to open this ControlDesk project. Yep. So then we are going to load our ControlDesk experiment. Okay, now the ControlDesk experiment project is loaded, and now, nope. And now we are going to register our platform here, and we are going to add our variable description file that we can see directly here. Okay, so from the log it is showing that, so we are loading the real-time application, so it is shown here. And now we are going online, and we will check this communication V2G is working. So from this we can directly check that. So this session stop blinks. It should be here. So we will wait until the session setup blinks. So from that we confirm that the V2G communication is working fine. So now we started the real-time application here. Yes, now you can see the session setup blinks, and so the V2G communication is working fine. And then we will unload our OSA and we will close the ControlDesk project. Okay, it's going offline from the log, we can see, and the project is saved, and we close the ControlDesk. Okay, and the final step of this pipeline is to execute the conformance test. So yeah, for this demonstration purpose, I created myself the own conformance test, and I will execute the conformance test project. So the automation task of the conformance test involves the loading the conformance test project into AutomationDesk. So it is loading here, we can see it. Yeah, it is loaded, so we can see it from the log. It's connecting to the AutomationDesk. And we register our platform. So now it is importing this AutomationDesk project into AutomationDesk. So, and it is loading the real-time application. Yeah, and finally it is executing the reports. So yeah, these reports can be packed and put it in our container so that it can be used by a developer for the further analyzing. So yeah, by automating these steps, we can significantly reduce the manual efforts and minimize the error. And I hope this demonstration will find you a valuable insight into the execution of conformance tests in CI/CD pipeline. Thank you.
Okay, let's see how it went. I've got a new email. Apparently the pipeline has worked.
Hi, Lucas. What's up?
Hello, Kerti. I've just received an email that my code fix that I uploaded was automatically tested by the pipeline and it said it has worked. Thanks to your preparation, I didn't need to do the tests all myself.
And finally the pipeline is working. That's great.
Yes. Yeah. Now I'll go into the actual tests to see that everything is actually fine. So the pipeline tells me everything has run through perfectly, and the detailed report tells me that also all the timings are good, which now means that I don't need to do anything more. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Lucas and Kefi. Very impressive demonstration. So we have seen that dSPACE is able to offer all the necessary tools we need here. For example, the tools for generating the system under test, in this case a communication controller. We have models for simulating the car and the charging station. We have a simulator where we can put everything together and simulate also the communication. This is the important part in this case. And we have tools for experimenting and automating all the tests.
Absolutely, Martin. I totally agree. It was a very cool project. And indeed, dSPACE can offer all the tools needed for this kinds of simulation and testing. And together with FERCHAU, we can provide our common customers the engineering support and also the ability to automate these testing workflows. I can see great opportunities ahead for our customers, and together with your experience in autonomous systems and FERCHAU's experience in across the industries, there is a lot of good opportunities ahead. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm also looking forward to it. So thank you very much for your cooperation. I think together we are able to offer a complete DevOps solution. So thank you very much. And thanks all to you for your attention, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
dSPACE, your partner in simulation and validation.